Hey, Steve.
Hey, Jason. I like this.
Well, I figured, we're doing a very kind of old school gasser type. I thought I'd bring in something that, very modern, pro touring style.
I mean, could any Chevy 2s be more different? That one
Absolutely
built for
not.
a little gasser, straight line drag racing. This one a pro touring. What do you got under the hood?
It's got a B8 376 LSX GM performance block, and that was the foundation of the engine and kind of built it up from there.
Very cool. Now, of course, yours is a Chevy Nova with
Yep.
the hardtop. We got the Chevy 2 100 series base model. Otherwise, basically very similar under the skin, including the 14 fasteners
Yep.
that bolt the front clip to the firewall. How'd that work out for you?
Very good. It's a full chassis, but same concept. Mounting points are exactly in the same area.
Yeah, very well done. I hear your wife drives this car?
This is her car. I built it for her last year, debuted it at SEMA, and she drives it to work quite often.
Yeah, sinister looking car. I mean, it's got a whole different vibe, and yet it's very similar to the Chevy 2 we're doing here. We got a lot done yesterday.
Yeah. Well, speaking of a gasser, it is day 3 of our CarCraft Week to Wicked presented by Speedway Motors. Looks like you stayed a little late last night and you wrapped that header.
Yeah, got that protected so the fuel line doesn't vapor lock and percolate. Keep the heat away from it, insulated.
Well, we still have a full day ahead of us. Radiator, core support, like to get the sheet metal back on, the wiring done on the engine.
Yep.
We should get back to work.
Let's do it.
Okay, so I'm finishing up the fuel line, going to the carburetors. Once I do that, I'm gonna start wiring this puppy.
All right, so that fits good now.
Just like that.
All right, so the alternator's in place. We got about an inch clearance here, so we have about an inch of swing. Just gotta find the proper belt and we'll be good to go.
All right, we're getting ready to put our taillight in the Nova here. This is a really nice piece because it comes with the gasket and the lens is already installed. So it's as simple as bolting it right in.
I worked at Hot Rod Magazine and still work for CarCraft, love them both. But when I was at Hot Rod, Gray Basketball, the late, great Gray Basketball, said that a lot of hot rodders mix metaphors. And what that kind of means is like, painting your 32 Ford purple and putting a sunroof in it and then putting a Charger Daytona wing on the back and then putting some Corvette rims on it and mixing all these metaphors into something that doesn't really make sense in the end. Well, the great thing about a well-built gasser is staying true to one principal metaphor. And one of the best ways to do that is to study vintage copies of CarCraft and all the old great magazines. Just look at stuff that was done before 1967, for instance, or whatever model year, and borrow that look and stay away from modern stuff. And that really comes down to the engine as well. A lot of guys, to put an LS1 in a gasser might be a boo-boo.
Roller coaster, ah!
So obviously we need some sort of power source to fire our car up and keep it running with all the lights and switches and stuff like that. So we turned to Odyssey and we're gonna install that into this battery tray. Fits in there like a glove. Then we got this hold down. Goes like that. Up and over. It's far enough away from the negative and positive so you don't have to worry about any grounding issues, and all I'll do is put the nuts on there and trim it to size.
Okay.
The cooling module has arrived. Nice.
Made by DeWitt's, and I think it's just 2 rows.
2 rows.
And I think they're 1.25 inches
Yeah,
wide.
they are 2 big rows
they're-
next to each other.
Yeah, big wide rows, so.
Yeah. One of those things about extra rows is a thing called delta T, the change in temperature. As the air goes from front to back, as it moves from row to row, it actually picks up more heat. The more rows, the less efficient the radiator in the long run. Better to have 2 big tubes and a bunch of little tiny ones.
Right.
We're putting these inner fender supports in. These tie the car to the core support and just offer a little bit extra support so the fenders aren't taking up all the load. And they'll also give us a place to mount hood hinges if we decide to run a hood.
Over and then in. Gotta go over that fender.
Yep, I think we got the same deal at the front. We've got to get between, or do we go inside? Okay,
I think we go over.
good deal.
Well, every car has a face, and in the case of this Chevy 2, it's the headlamps. These are the eyes, figuratively speaking, of the car, and they're being installed right now. Day 3, this thing's coming together.
Now, is this drive shaft a line you guys do?
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
We do custom order, custom length
Oh, you do?
drive shafts, yeah.
Nice.
And then they ship from
It's chromoly?
Axle Exchange. This one is chromoly, yeah. We've got a billet yokes in front and 1350 U-joints so that they're up to the job.
All right, so we are ending our day 3, and it was a productive day.
It was, yeah. The car has a face now, the fenders are on, and a lot of progress. Brakes are bled.
Yep. We had some, some tedious things to do today, and it may not look like a whole bunch was done, but trust me, there was a ton of wiring.
Yeah, a lot of wiring. And little things like, the steering box and the bottom of the radiator fought a little bit for the same space. Clearanced it, made it work. Little things.
Yeah, and it was a good day. It's a shame that you're leaving.
I know, I gotta head back to Massachusetts, get some writing done. Yeah,
I am glad
gotta
you
go.
came. I appreciate it. It was fun.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm
And
glad.
the wealth of knowledge was awesome. It brought a lot to the show, so thanks for that.
I'm glad you guys are doing this. You're keeping the spirit alive, the 60s drag racing and the street freak thing and all of that. Modern pro touring cars and handling cars are great, but let's not forget straight liners.
That's right. It was fun. So thanks for coming again, and I know you got a plane to catch, so we better get out of here.
Thank you for watching.